There are moments in life when we face betrayal, manipulation, or intentional harm. The hardest part is often realizing that someone we trusted, someone we cared for, has chosen to hurt us with intention. And the hardest question we ask ourselves is, do we give them a second chance? Today, I want to talk to you about why sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to not give them that second chance. We live in a world that often glorifies forgiveness at any cost. We hear everyone makes mistakes, or it's just a part of life. While it's important to acknowledge that we are all flawed human beings, it's also crucial to recognize that some wounds are inflicted intentionally. Some actions aren't mistakes. They are calculated decisions. It's in these moments when we realize we've been hurt by someone we thought would protect us that we need to listen to ourselves. Trust your instincts. Trust that your worth is not defined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. This isn't about revenge or holding on to bitterness. It's about recognizing that your peace, your emotional safety, and your mental well-being are too precious to be compromised. Letting someone who has intentionally damaged you back into your life means inviting more harm. And all of us are worthy of safety, respect, and love. We have to get comfortable with the idea that not every relationship is meant to be repaired. Some people are in our lives for a season, and that's okay. Letting go of someone who chooses to hurt you doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. It takes immense courage to walk away from people who no longer align with the person you are becoming. Don't let anyone's lack of respect for you dictate your future. You deserve peace, and peace doesn't come from giving a second chance to someone who willfully damaged you. It comes from standing firm in your boundaries and knowing that sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do. Choose yourself, choose healing, choose to protect your heart and your mind from those who don't deserve a place in your life. Trust yourself. When someone intentionally harms you, it's easy to second-guess your feelings. You might hear voices in your head saying, maybe it wasn't that bad, or am I overreacting? But let me remind you of something powerful. Your instincts are there for a reason. They are your internal compass designed to guide and protect you. When someone's actions hurt you deeply and intentionally, your instincts often sound the alarm long before your mind catches up. Listen to that alarm. It's not weakness or paranoia, it's wisdom born from your experiences, your values, and your need for emotional safety. Too often we're taught to dismiss our own feelings to maintain peace or avoid confrontation. We convince ourselves to give others the benefit of the doubt, even when the harm they've caused is glaringly obvious. But your emotional and mental health isn't worth sacrificing for someone who has shown a willingness to damage it. When someone chooses to hurt you, they're showing you their priorities. They're showing you where you stand in their world. And when someone shows you that your well-being isn't important to them, it's your responsibility to protect it. This isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that you deserve relationships where your trust isn't a tool to be broken or manipulated. Trusting yourself means believing that your feelings are valid, even if the person who hurt you tries to minimize them. It means knowing that you don't need to justify your pain to anyone who questions it, and it means understanding that walking away doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. Trust isn't just about believing in others, it's about believing in yourself. Believing that you are worthy of peace, respect, and love. Believing that you can navigate the hard decisions, even when they involve letting go. And believing that your instincts are a gift, not a burden. When someone intentionally harms you, your instincts are the first line of defense for your heart and mind. Listen to them, honor them, and trust that they will lead you to the safety and peace you deserve. Not every mistake is a mistake. Sometimes the harm you experience isn't a misstep or a misunderstanding, it's a choice. There's a difference between human error and intentional harm, and learning to recognize that difference is essential for protecting yourself. We all make mistakes, that's part of being human. We forget things, miscommunicate, or act impulsively without realizing the impact of our actions. But when someone's behavior is deliberate, it's not about a momentary lapse or an accident. It's a decision to act in a way that disregards your feelings, your boundaries, or your well-being. Intentional harm often comes wrapped in excuses. You might hear things like, "I didn't mean it that way," or "You're being too sensitive." These words can make you question your reality, leading you to wonder if you're overreacting or imagining things. But deep down, you know the truth. Deliberate actions carry a certain weight, an energy that's hard to ignore. They feel different because they are different. Acknowledging this difference doesn't mean you become cynical or assume the worst in people. It means you trust yourself enough to see what's in front of you, even if it's uncomfortable or painful. When someone intentionally hurts you, it's not about misunderstanding who they are. It's about seeing them clearly for who they've chosen to be in that moment. This clarity can be difficult because it challenges the stories we tell ourselves. We want to believe in the good in others, and admitting that someone acted with intent can feel like a betrayal of that belief. But recognizing deliberate harm isn't about giving up on humanity. It's about protecting your own humanity. It's about setting boundaries and refusing to tolerate behavior that diminishes your worth. When you acknowledge the difference between a mistake and a choice, you empower yourself to respond differently. You stop giving unearned second chances to people who repeatedly choose to hurt you. And you start building relationships with those who value and respect you, because your time, energy, and heart are too precious to be spent on someone who intentionally causes harm. Your worth is not determined by how others treat you. It isn't measured by someone's ability to see your value or acknowledge your importance. You're stuck by not allowing it to take you where it wants to go. Your worth is inherent. From the moment you existed, you were enough, and nothing, no words, no actions, no rejection can take that away. Yet too often, we hand over the power to define our worth to other people. We let their approval or their neglect shape the way we see ourselves. When someone treats us poorly, it's easy to internalize their behavior as a reflection of who we are. We start to wonder, what's wrong with me? Or, why wasn't I good enough? But here's the truth. How someone treats you says everything about them and nothing about you. Their choices, their actions, and their words are a mirror of their own values, their own struggles, and their own limitations. They don't define you. Your value isn't tied to whether someone stays or leaves, whether they love you or fail to show up. It exists unwavering simply because you are here. You don't have to earn it, you don't have to prove it, and you certainly don't have to let anyone else tell you it's less than what it is. When you understand your inherent worth, you start to see the way people treat you differently. You stop taking their actions personally, and you start setting boundaries that reflect the love you have for yourself. You stop chasing validation and start standing firmly in the knowledge that you are already enough. Self-worth doesn't mean you won't feel hurt or disappointment. It means you won't let those feelings erode the truth of your value. It means reminding yourself in moments of doubt that you are deserving of respect, kindness, and love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It is not diminished by rejection, nor inflated by someone's praise. It simply is, and when you embrace that, you free yourself from the need to seek external validation. You become your own source of strength, peace, and love. Forgiveness doesn't mean re-entry. It's often said that forgiveness is for you, not the other person, and that's true. When you forgive, you release the weight of anger and resentment that has been taking up space in your heart. You let go of the pain that ties you to the person who hurt you, freeing yourself to move forward. But forgiveness is not an open door. It doesn't mean you're obligated to invite that person back into your life, especially when the harm they caused wasn't an accident. Forgiveness is not a license for them to return unchanged and continue the cycle of hurt. It's not a green light for them to reclaim the space they once occupied in your life. You can forgive someone and still choose to keep your distance. You can forgive someone and still protect your boundaries. Forgiving doesn't erase the harm or excuse the behavior. It simply means you're choosing not to carry the burden of that pain anymore. It's a gift you give yourself, not a privilege you extend to someone who has damaged your trust. Sometimes people confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. They think that to truly forgive, you have to let the person back in, give him another chance, or rebuild the relationship. But the truth is, reconciliation requires mutual effort, accountability, and a genuine commitment to change. And not everyone is capable of or willing to do that. You can forgive someone in your heart without granting them access to your life. That's not bitterness, it's self-respect. It's knowing that some people are not safe for your peace, your emotional health, or your well-being. And that's okay. Forgiveness allows you to heal, to release the past, and to focus on your future. But choosing not to re-engage with someone who has intentionally hurt you is a boundary, a healthy, necessary boundary that honors your worth. You owe it to yourself to prioritize your peace. And forgiveness, when done without re-entry, allows you to find that peace while maintaining the strength to move forward on your own terms. It takes courage to walk away. Leaving a relationship that is hurting you is not an easy choice. It's not a decision made lightly, especially when your heart is tied to someone you once trusted or cared for deeply. But sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that save us. Walking away requires you to face the fear of the unknown. It asks you to step out of the familiar, even when that familiarity has become a source of pain. It asks you to trust that the future holds something better, even when you can't yet see what it is. It's not weakness to leave, it's strength. It's strength to recognize that staying is costing you more than it's giving. It's strength to put your emotional and mental well-being above the comfort of staying where you are. Walking away doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've chosen yourself. It means you've chosen to honor the parts of you that deserve peace, love, and respect. It's not easy to say goodbye to what you thought could be. It's not easy to let go of the hope that things might change, but holding on to something that hurts you only prolongs the pain. Courage is understanding that you can love someone and still leave. It's knowing that love alone isn't always enough to make a relationship healthy or safe. Courage is facing the grief, the loneliness, and the uncertainty because you know deep down that staying would only hurt more. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite the fear. It's about believing that you are worthy of more, even when doubt tries to convince you otherwise. The sad truth is, it's more important being with something like courage that someone could be with you steadfastly and deeply. The strength to walk away comes from knowing that your happiness, your peace, and your healing are worth the risk. It's a decision to choose yourself, not in selfishness, but in self-respect. And that choice, as hard as it may be, is the foundation of the life you deserve to build. Boundaries are essential. They are not walls to shut people out, but guidelines that show others how to treat you with respect and care. Setting boundaries isn't about being difficult or distant. It's an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your peace, your time, and your well-being matter. Without boundaries, it's easy for others to overstep, often unintentionally. But when someone repeatedly disregards your boundaries, it's a sign that they don't value the space you need to feel safe and respected. Protecting your peace begins with defining what you will and won't allow in your life. It's not about controlling others. It's about making choices that honor your mental and emotional health. Boundaries are there to remind you and others that your needs are valid. They help you communicate clearly and confidently, reducing misunderstandings and unnecessary conflict. At first, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've spent years putting others' needs ahead of your own. You might worry about being seen as selfish or unkind, but setting boundaries is it's an act of kindness to yourself and to others. It creates clarity in your relationships, allowing people to understand what you need to feel respected and valued. Healthy boundaries also create space for healthier relationships. They filter out the people who drain your energy and make room for those who uplift and support you. Boundaries aren't rigid rules. They're flexible, evolving, and unique to you. They can shift as you grow and as your relationships change. but the core principle remains the same. They are there to protect your peace and ensure that you are treated with the dignity you deserve. When someone crosses a boundary, it's not your job to make excuses for their behavior. It's your job to enforce the line and remind yourself why you set it in the first place. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They are your way of saying, I am worthy of respect and I will not settle for less. And when you honor your boundaries, you teach others to honor them too. Because the peace you protect with your boundaries is the foundation of the life you deserve. Letting go is liberation. It's not about giving up or admitting defeat. It's about releasing the weight of something that no longer serves you. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to let go of toxic relationships. These relationships may have played an important role in your life once. They may have taught you lessons, revealed truths about yourself, or even helped you grow. But just because something served its purpose doesn't mean it needs to stay forever. Holding on to a toxic relationship is like clinging to a rope that's fraying at both ends. The tighter you hold, the more it burns. The more you try to fix it, the more it unravels. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean you didn't try. It means you've realized that your peace, your happiness, and your future are worth more than staying stuck in a cycle of hurt. It's not easy to let go of someone you've invested time, love, and energy in. It's not easy to walk away from the memories, the good times, and the hope that things might change. But clinging to toxicity only keeps you trapped in a space where you cannot fully grow or heal. Letting go is a brave act of self-liberation. It's choosing to unburden yourself from the pain, the negativity, and the chaos. It's acknowledging that you deserve relationships that nourish you, not ones that drain you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting what happened, learning from it, and moving forward without carrying the emotional baggage. It's about making peace with the fact that some people are not meant to go where you're headed. When you let go, you create space in your life, space for peace, for healing, and for relationships that align with your worth. It's a gift you give to yourself, a promise that you will no longer settle for less than you deserve. And in that act of release, you find freedom. Freedom to grow, freedom to heal, freedom to become the person you were always meant to be. Peace comes from within. It's not something you can find in others, nor is it something they can give to you. True peace begins when you choose to take care of yourself, unapologetically and wholeheartedly. Too often, we look for peace in external places. We think that if we mend a broken relationship or make amends with those who wronged us, we'll feel whole again. But peace isn't found in appeasing others, especially those who have caused you harm. It's not about smoothing things over to keep the peace on the outside while turmoil rages within. True peace doesn't come from shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. It doesn't come from suppressing your feelings to avoid conflict or pretending that wounds don't exist. Peace begins when you stop seeking validation from those who dismissed your worth. It begins when you stop trying to fix relationships that were never meant to thrive. It begins when you realize that your well-being is not a negotiation. Taking care of yourself means prioritizing your mental and emotional health over the need to please others. It means setting boundaries even when it's hard. It means saying no even when you fear disappointing someone. And it means allowing yourself to heal without the expectation of an apology or resolution from those who hurt you. Peace comes from accepting that you cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to let go of the anger and resentment that weigh you down. You can choose to focus on what nourishes your soul instead of what drains it. True peace is quiet, steady, and deeply personal. It's not tied to the actions or opinions of others. It's rooted in how you treat yourself, with kindness, compassion, and respect. When you take care of yourself, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that your peace is not theirs to give or take. It's yours to create, yours to nurture, and yours to protect. And when you find that peace within, no one can take it away from you. Don't compromise your safety. Emotional safety is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation of trust, connection, and well-being in any relationship. Without it, you're left walking on eggshells, second-guessing your worth and silencing your truth. Safety means being able to express yourself without fear of judgment or retaliation. It means knowing that your feelings will be heard, your boundaries will be respected, and your vulnerabilities will not be used against you. When emotional safety is missing, it creates a void that no amount of love or effort can fill. Preserving a relationship at the expense of your safety is not an act of strength or loyalty. It's a compromise that chips away at your self-worth. Piece by piece. You might convince yourself that things will get better, that if you just try harder or endure a little longer, the relationship will change. But a connection that requires you to sacrifice your safety is not a connection worth holding on to. It's not your job to shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable. It's not your job to tolerate emotional harm for the sake of peace. Your well-being matters, your peace matters, and no relationship, no matter how deep or long-lasting, is worth compromising your safety. Choosing your emotional safety isn't selfish, it's essential. It's a declaration that you value yourself enough to step away from what hurts you, even when it's hard. It takes courage to say, "This isn't healthy for me," and to walk away from relationships that don't honor your worth. But that courage is what protects you. It's what ensures that the space you hold in your life is reserved for those who uplift you, respect you, and cherish your emotional well-being. When you prioritize your safety, you create an environment where you can truly thrive. You open the door to relationships built on mutual respect and genuine care. And you remind yourself that your safety is not negotiable. It's a non-negotiable foundation for the life you deserve to live. Healing is a choice. It's not something that just happens. It's something you consciously decide to pursue. It's choosing to step out of the shadows of pain and into the light of possibility. Staying in a damaging situation may feel easier in the moment. It's familiar, even when it hurts. It's a cycle that, despite its harm, can feel safer than the unknown path of healing. But staying where you are doesn't allow you to grow. It keeps you stuck, replaying the same wounds over and over again. Choosing healing is an act of courage. It's saying, "I deserve better," even when part of you doubts it. It's letting go of what no longer serves you, even when it feels like a piece of you is breaking. Healing isn't linear and it isn't quick. It's messy and challenging, filled with moments of doubt, tears, and uncertainty. But it's also liberating. With every step forward, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was lost in the hurt. You rebuild your confidence, your self-worth, and your sense of peace. Healing is an act of profound self-care and love. It's prioritizing your well-being over the comfort of staying where you are. It's recognizing that you are worthy of the time, effort, and energy it takes to heal. It's choosing to believe in the possibility of a brighter future, even when it feels far away. Healing doesn't mean forgetting the pain or pretending it didn't happen. It means learning from it, growing through it, and allowing it to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Every moment you choose healing, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing to honor your pain by transforming it into strength. You're choosing to let go of what hurt you, not because it was okay, but because you deserve the freedom to move forward. And with every choice to heal, you take one step closer to the peace, joy, and wholeness that have always been within your reach. In the end, choosing yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. It's not easy and it's not always clear, but it's the only path that leads to true freedom and peace. You have the right to walk away from what hurts you, to set boundaries, and to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. Your worth is not determined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. And remember, healing is a choice, one that you make every single day. So trust yourself, honor your worth, and always protect your peace. Because you deserve a life that nurtures your soul and supports your growth. And when you choose to prioritize your well-being, you open the door to the love, the joy, and the fulfillment that await you on the other side. You are worthy of all of it.